Yo, what up guys, Magic IQ here, and today I'm driving around in this beautiful bolt-on M4. I purposely built it with no upgraded turbo and just bolt-ons, kind of like a realistic build with some carbon fenders, a carbon trunk, and I think this thing just looks absolutely amazing. It looks super good with this Laguna Seca blue kind of wrap on it. I purposely outlined all the carbon fiber parts very nicely so you guys can see we got the carbon fenders, the carbon hood. This thing just looks super dope. But anyway, what we're talking about today is the highly requested video of top 3 best cars in volume 2. I know you guys are used to me uploading these videos every time there's a new update, so I'm gonna go ahead and launch this one right now. Let's get things started. As you guys know, in the new update, in the patch notes, what you can no longer do is bring a vehicle one tier below is the max you can go. You can no longer go 2-3 tiers below where the car originally comes. For example, this car comes in A+, so it cannot be in B class. It can only be in A tier at its very lowest. So cars like the F40 have been changed around a little bit in terms of meta, but you guys will be surprised to know that actually really not much has changed. So I'm going to run through this list right now, and we're just going to go ahead and get it started while running from some newly added cops in the game. So we're going to go ahead and find some cops here and just have some fun cruising around. And there's a plethora of them on the map. As you can see, we already have one right here. And this car is only like a couple upgrades, so it's going to be actually kind of interesting to, you know, maybe have a good chase here and just have some fun. So anyway, first things first. She's angry. First things first, we're going to talk about B class, man. Now in B class, we still at the number 3 spot have the NSXR now. It has moved up from an honorable mention to the number 3 spot in my opinion. Now you can almost say the Testarossa could be there as well, as it is a very good car, but I personally just prefer the NSX over it. Now for the number 2 spot, we have the R34. That was previously in the number 2 spot already, but we didn't include cheese builds in the number 1 spot. And now that they're almost completely gone, we have the RSR in the number 1 spot for B class. Although every build in B class is by technicalities a cheese build, because all of them just top out at 130 and have pretty decent power numbers. So not really much is going to change there. We're just getting rid of cars like the Pista, and the list is pretty much the same from the most recent video if you take away Pista, cars like that. Anyway, coming up to A class. Now, I know you guys used the F40 a lot last update, and that was the number 1 car in A class. But now it is gone. It is no longer allowed in A class, as that car does come stock in S class. So it can only go as low as A+. Now, the best car in A class now that was previously number 2 is the RSR. So that is now number 1 in B and A class is the RSR, guys. So make sure you guys cop an RSR, as it comes stock in A class, so you can use it in B as well. It's pretty ridiculous. Another car that is moving up spots is the Testarossa. The Testarossa is still the top speed demon, man. Definitely going in the number 2 spot there. I really love that car. Now, a car that was previously in the number 2 spot or the number 3 spot on my first list was the R34. Now, that car will be moving up to the number 3 spot in the overall for A class, as it was bumped down to the honorable mention in the most recent video before this one. So make sure you guys cop that car. It's a really great car to run. It is available to run in the B and the A class, as it is dominant in both classes and does a very good job. So make sure you guys test that car out there. Now, for A+, man, there's been a lot of changes going on with A+, with new builds and things like that. So there's been a few changes to this list, and I'm gonna go ahead and list them for you right now. So now, in the most previous video, the F40 was the number 1 car, and in my personal opinion, this thing has just been knocked down by new builds coming out for both the RSR and the GTR. This thing is just no longer number 1. I personally think it's at the number 3 spot for the F40. It's a great car, but it's just not number 1 anymore. And at the number 2 spot, I do have the GTR. That thing with the V8 is an absolute monster. I'll be coming out with a build on my channel for that car as well soon, so make sure you guys stay on the lookout for it. But there are some builds already out there, but my homie Voided has a couple iterations that he wanted me to share with you guys as well. So make sure you guys stay on the lookout for that build. Now, at the number 1 spot, we do have the RSR, which is the king of A+ class, holds a lot of records. Kois is an absolute monster. He built this thing. You guys can check that out with the link in the description. All the builds I have will be linked down below in the description. Any other builds, you guys can just search up on YouTube. But these cars are very competitive. I mean, they're the best in the class. class, obviously they're going to be very good. And the builds on my channel are as up to date as you possibly can. If you want to make some adjustments to make the car more drivable for yourself, whether that's less downforce, more downforce, using the grip or drift versions, that's all up to you. But now we're moving into the S class now. Let's try and find some more cops to make this video just a slight bit more entertaining. Alright, I see this guy on the map right here. Let's go ahead and bump into him. We lost the last ones almost on accident, so let's try and make this one a little bit more interesting here. Now, for the S class, man, the F40, in my opinion, still at the top of the tier. S class is one of those classes that actually hasn't changed at all. S class is still exactly the same, and I'll list those for you guys right now just in case you weren't aware of what the top 3 were. For the top 3 in S class, man, we actually do have a couple build updates that I will share for you guys, linked down below in the description. Since the most recent build video, we have an updated drift build from the homie Kois and an updated grip build from myself using only 62% grip, but it grips just as hard as 100% and you get more power out of it. So make sure you guys check out those 2 builds, linked down below in the description. But the number 1 car for S class is the F40, and we seem to have lost these police officers once again on accident. But it's okay because we're going to run through the rest of S class. Number 2, we do have still the 2000 GTR. It's a great car. I personally prefer the V12, and it is a better motor for the car, so make sure you guys check that out. It grips a lot better than the V8. The V8 is a lot more rowdy and just not as consistent. The V12 is a killer, and that is linked down below in the description as well. The V12 Hakosuka 2000 GTR, the KBG, KPG, KGP, I don't know which one goes first, but that thing is an absolute monster in S class. So that is number 2 for us today. At the number 3 spot, man, we still have the RSX. Now that is my personal favorite. I personally love that car. It's super fun to drive. It's a little bit rowdy. It can get loose, but when you guys learn to tame that handling, it's just an absolute beast, man. It pulls away like no other. It has the same motor as the previous best build on the GTR, which is that V8 that comes in the F40. So it's kind of ironic, man. A lot of these cars in S class have a lot in common, but they're not exactly the same. Let's get one more cop chase while we talk about S plus, because honestly a few things have changed here. So as you guys know, there's a new race called Apex Predator, and from what I've heard, there's a couple cars that are being used by some of the better drivers that are pretty good. One of them being the FXXK, which is obvious. I mean, that car is an absolute beast. Love that car. So these top 3 are kind of sprinkled around depending on what race you want to run. The X Siege is a great car as well. And then obviously the Regera, but that goes without saying. This top best cars for S plus is kind of just whatever you feel like using. Water Blob, though, did come by the stream and let me know that he was using the 918 Spyder to get a 437 on Apex Predator, and that's a very fast time and not very easy to get. So if you guys want to go ahead and try that car out and see if it has top tier potential, make sure you guys check it out. All those builds will just be maxing out the car with a Roots supercharger and all elites parts, obviously. I don't need to link any build videos for that. All S plus cars are just maxed all the way out. Make sure you're using track tires and on-road suspension. We're going to go ahead and escape all the way back to the garage here, but I appreciate you guys tuning in for another top 3 builds from your boy Magic IQ. I will see you guys in the next video. Let's go ahead and aim for 50 likes. You guys always love when I do these top 3 videos. You guys have been showing so much love recently. Let me know if you guys want a best cars for Rumble, aka off-road video, man. I'm still coming up with builds every day for Rumble and having a whole bunch of fun. So make sure you guys tune into the streams. We do be live over on Twitch, man. We do be. Wow, English is just not my language today. But you guys can go check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MagicIQ. Link down below in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's Magic IQ, and I'm out. Love you guys. Peace.